How's it going, everybody? My name is Sinikle, and welcome back to Higurashi when they cry. So, if you want to get caught up, and if this is your first video in the series, there is a playlist link in the description box below. So go ahead and check that out. It will bring you to all the videos in that playlist that is in Higurashi series, the franchise, everything that leads up to this. So yeah, go ahead and check that out. And yeah, no recap. Basically, go ahead and click those, click that link, go to the videos and get caught up. Yada yada yada. And so, without further ado, let us continue from where we last left off. Right here. Yeah. Ah, yes. We're back with Takano. Okay. At the moment, I'm talking to a woman over the phone. Oh, no. Wait. Are we in... I'm confused. Are we in Takano's perspective or someone else's? Nomura.
明日の夜、富武兄は哀れな事故に。すべて廃棄したはずの H173 が投与された痕跡を残し、どういう形であれ、哀れな最後を遂げるでしょう。
それはとても楽しそうな幕開けです。こちらではすでに議事録の捏造が終了しています。
Ah, someone who's in on it. Great.
入江二佐が研究継続を求めて、他国に研究を売り渡そうとして独走し始める痕跡です。
Oh my god.
富武殺しはそれに組み込まれる。
You think someone like Eri would possibly do any of this? Wow. Even if I didn't know everything in the background that happened and all this, I would highly not even think that he could possibly do this. I would think that someone was framing him. I don't see how this would actually work, but apparently it does, because I guess people are stupid. You know what I'm saying?
そうです。
Anyways.
理事会に対し、入江機関への疑問を抱かせる最初の布石になります。そのあたりの工作は、すべてこちらが受け持ちますので、どうかお任せください。
I'm sure you are.
それから、例の件ですが、もしもの時はいかがしましょうか。
What happens? What?
もしもの時と申しますと
Yes, tell us.
いえ、
Tell us?
富武兄が買収に応じた場合です。
Oh. Is Takano-san planning on telling Tamatake everything? In hopes that he joins in?
富武兄の買収は作戦には含まれていないのではありませんでしたか。
いえ、だって彼は理事会の監査役です。
So she has started to have interest in him. Interesting.
もしこっちの味方になってくれれば、いろいろ利用できることも多いかと。
こちらの分析では、今回の作戦に富武兄が寝返ってくれても、リスクの割に得るものはありません。
Ouch.
作戦に不安要素をわざわざ加味する必要はないのではありませんか。
おっしゃる通りですわね。失礼しました。何かに使えるかと思ったもので提案しただけです。当初の予定通りに行きます。
それがよろしいでしょう。それではまた連絡します。失礼します。
For a while, I kept holding the telephone receiver, lost in thought. Then I put it down and dialed a number that I had become very familiar with. Tamatake himself?
はい。
Oh.
エコノミーホテル沖宮でございます。
Wait, if it's a hotel line, then maybe still Tamatake?
406号室。
Yeah. Oh, how right I am.
高野とお伝えください。
はい、今お取り次ぎしますので、 少々お待ちください。
Yeah, you can tell by the music that she has started liking him, but I mean she still goes with the plan nonetheless, so how could you start liking someone and then still end up killing them? That's kind of fucked up. She's fucked up in the head. The telephone operator put me on hold, leaving behind only electronic music. I waited for about a minute, and the operator came back on again.
申し訳ございません。
Oh, not in?
406号室のお客様はただいま外出中でございます。
Where could he possibly be?
お電話があった旨ご伝言いたしましょうか。
もう何度も伝言を頼んでるから結構です。
Oh, desperate, aren't we?
富武さんはいつ外出したかわかりますか？いつ頃戻るかわかりますか？
あ、申し訳ございません。それにつきましてはお答えできかねます。
わかりました。またかけます。
I put down the phone before the operator finished speaking. This is the third time I've tried calling him. Take a hint. Okay. You're an asshole, Sinikle. I know. But she's a killer, so why would you care? Okay. I left a message telling him to call me back, but he hasn't. Why? Is he out taking photographs by himself? Or is he waiting for me behind the shrine where we usually meet? Why don't you go there and look? Which is my guess that she's going there right now. Who would think I would actually come all the way here expecting him to be waiting for me? I'm even surprised at myself. People are in the middle of setting up tomorrow's festival. Tents are being put up for food stalls and preparations for various events, which are taking place. It's almost too noisy for me. What with people shouting as they work, plus the noise from the batteries for the stalls. Weird little tidbit of information, but okay. Soon I reached the back of the shrine before realizing it. Ah, she's on autopilot, huh? I have days like that too. This is probably the best view in the whole village. This is where Jiro-san and I usually meet. Just maybe, he's waiting for me here. Of course, that's just wishful thinking. God will never grant my wishes. He only has a bit of fun by testing me. So cynical, I love it. I looked down at the village below, letting the breeze blow through my hair. He usually follows me around while he stays in Hinamizawa. He persistently asks if I want to go out to eat, go for a walk, or even take some photographs with him. But he hasn't done any of that this visit. His behavior towards me has changed. Uh-oh. Come on, man. You were supposed to blend in a little bit while doing the stuff on the side. Come on. Have you never done... Okay, well, no. I guess he's never really done any undercover work, but, well, anyways. God damn it. Or has he? Oh, well. Maybe it's because he heard about the horrible impression I left with the new board of directors. Maybe he thinks I'm a mad scientist because of that incident. I can feel that he's gradually losing interest in me. But I had my own complaints too. When I don't want him around, he's so persistent. But when I need him to listen to me, I can't get a hold of him. But if I did get through to him, what would I even talk about? What could I talk to him about, right after talking to someone about the plan to assassinate him? Yeah, that's quite a predicament you got there. It's, yes, what to talk about after secretly behind his back talking about murdering him and shit. Jesus Christ. Come on. Why should he even answer my call? Yeah, why? I'm simply running wild. And when I reach the point of no return, I'll want to be forgiven. No. You're going to hell, bitch. No forgiven. Gonna be given. Heyo. Okay. And I want him to do that for me. Sorry, but he don't judge how you gonna end up. Okay. Just when he always does whatever I want him to do, and he shows up whenever I need him. Who would forgive someone like me, someone who has nowhere to go but hell? Would he forgive me out of sympathy? No way. While he will be surprised, he will do his job and arrest me. I am a member of the SDF, after all, so what I'm doing is committing treason. The big T word, holy shit! I've been thinking about him a lot for the past few days, and just now I realized something. He's not attractive at all as a man. Jesus fucking Christ, okay. I mean, you might as well just call him an ugly motherfucker. Jesus Christ. He has no sense of humor or good taste. Jesus! Fucking digging his grave for him. What the fuck is wrong with you? He has nothing. Absolutely nothing. Well, he has a belly. Okay. This is, I'm getting mixed signals here. But there's nothing appealing about him. He doesn't care about my schedule, he's persistent, and when I treat him nicely because I'm in a good mood, he becomes even more persistent. There's really absolutely nothing good about him. Despite his age, he tells me things like how the last time he held a woman's hand was when he did folk dancing at some summer camp. Furthermore, he says those things to make me laugh. He's hopeless. But more than anything, I can't stand when he completely ignores my feelings. I want to be alone sometimes, I don't want to do anything sometimes, yet he drags me out completely ignoring how I feel. That's why, even when I'm exhausted, or I don't feel like doing anything, I end up going with him, which makes me laugh. I always thought that just wore me out, yet I want him to drag me around. I'll probably never feel this way again. And yet, he's not here. Do I really believe I don't want to spend time with him? Maybe I've just grown used to his abundant affection. When he took me out on a day I didn't want to do anything, I was in a bad mood at first, but after a while, I started to feel better, and I found myself having a lot of fun. If he was with me right now, would he take me out to photograph birds like always? Would he happily explain it all with his know-how, even though I didn't ask? That would be very boring and troublesome, but that's what I honestly want right now. Do I see my grandpa in him? I loved my grandpa. He gave me a purpose to live. I needed him. I loved Uncle Kaiozumi. He helped me with my dream. I needed him. After both of them died, maybe I just sought their aspects in him. Am I starving for a protector? Maybe I'm so traumatized by my parents' accident that I need to have someone nearby to watch over me at all times. Maybe I'm still immature. My inner child is throwing a fit because she can't put together a toy, saying that if it's going to be broken anyway, she's going to break it herself. It won't be just my problem. It will bring about huge, irreversible tragedy. But that's the only way to prove the truth of my grandfather's work. That belief allowed me to prepare up to this point. In just a few days, the top members of the government will be scrutinizing my grandfather's article. And terrified by the worst case scenario scenario. There's an L there? I don't see it. Scenario. There we go. He predicted. They will regret canceling our research and neglecting countermeasures as they pass their final resolution. That's when my grandfather's article will become truth, his great work uplifted, and his name carved into the pages of history. And then he will become a god. An eternal existence. And I will reveal the god worshipped as Oyashiro-sama to be the Hinamizawa syndrome, casting them down to earth. I'm going to complete the 5th curse of Oyashiro-sama with Jiro-san's death, as well as my own. I'll become the one who curses, not the one who is cursed. I'll be in the position to test, instead of being tested. I will ascend to godhood. I'm going to make the curse a reality, and I'm going to kick the god of this place off her throne. FYI, if you haven't read anything or whatever of the series Umineko, I advise you to go do that, because this is pretty damn relevant in that. Okay, just yeah, it really makes you think. And then grandfather and I will be together forever. Gods don't get tested. Fate doesn't test gods. No grief will separate us. I will be with my grandpa forever. After that, we are going to work on our research together in that study filled with the smell of formalin. Flashback! A scene from happier days. Grandpa is at his desk, writing down something. I'm in a good mood, lying on my stomach on the carpet right behind him, while flapping my legs and humming a tune. I help him with his research by organizing his books, as if I were playing with blocks. To return to those times is my only wish. Not a flashback per se, but just recollections. Cool. Of course, if I could go back that far, I'd want my parents to be alive too. If I could play with my grandpa's books, while listening to my mother cooking in the kitchen and my father flipping through his newspaper, that would be complete. Why am I adding words? That would complete my happy world. There we go. It would be my ideal childhood. But that world doesn't have a door to the outside world. So I can't go over to my friend's house. Because if I did go to my friend's house, there wouldn't be anybody there when I returned. Nobody. Nobody, because they'd all have died in a train accident. So I don't want an outside world. I want to stay in the house with my parents and my grandfather. So this segment right here is just to, like, I'm gonna try and make you all sympathize with her. It's not working, dog. Dog, it's not working. She's still a bitch. I am a doctor, after all. I can analyze myself. I know that what I'm wishing for is proof of my immaturity. But if I know that much, then why do I still long for a parental figure in Jiro-san? Even as I plan an operation which includes his death, I'm still trying to hang on to him. If I'm going to betray people so I can become a god, then I should remain a villain until my final moments. But if I'd rather be a lonely little girl, then I should remain modest and humble until my final moments. Either way, if it is my way of life, nobody can criticize me for it. Because if I believe if it is right, then all I can do is go on without listening to such criticism. But I still can't decide, so I want somebody to criticize me. Nobody has ever criticized my way of life. That's why I want to hear someone do it. I want someone to tell me my way of life is wrong. I want Gyro-san to tell me I've done such a stupid thing, and I want him to slap me. Such masochistic desires speak a great deal as to how I'm rejecting my present self. Am I really still longing for a parent? I'm too old to call myself immature. Even if I do, nobody else will. No matter how immature I am inside, people will treat me as a grown person. They will say I possess an adult's responsibility and proper judgment, and that they have brought me this far already. Then I'll be judged before the devil. Will I still plead not to judge my immature self as a grown-up? Am I going to act that pathetically, even in front of the devil himself? I'm already going to hell, yet I can't completely become a devil. I hate the idea of hell, yet I refuse to try and repent. My mind can only float in a lake of blood, drifting as I drown. If only Gyro-san was here, my mind would clear up, as I played along with his insensitive chatter. Why isn't he around when I need him the most? This is the last chance I'll have to spend time with him. I hate how immature I am because becoming so insecure just because he isn't around. I found myself before the lavatory box. I came here when the Erie Clinic's construction had ended and the research at the Erie Institute was about to begin. I remember how bravely I challenged the god of this place. We saw that before, didn't we? And Hanyū was like standing there watching over her. I was full of hope and ambition. After going through many hardships, I finally came this far. I even vowed I would become a god. I did so in front of the god of this place. I can vaguely recall my grandfather telling me a story similar to that. That's right. It was the story of the Tower of Babel. When there was only one language in this world, all people lived in one place with one will. In a display of their authority, they started to build a tower that would reach heaven. God got angry because these people had forgotten how to show respect to him. He believed all of man gathered to commit such an affront because they all shared one language and one will. So their communion was shattered. People were thrown into disorder, and they were given many different languages so they wouldn't be able to communicate with each other. And as they couldn't communicate with each other, many left. And the tower, which challenged heaven, fell to ruin. Reading so much. Oh my god! Sorry, I had to drink some water. Stay hydrated, folks. Something like that, anyway. I'm not sure what the lesson is, but this is what my grandfather explained to me. Building a tower that reaches up to heaven is the greatest challenge for humans, but it is also a challenge to God. To challenge God was truly sinful, but as humans we couldn't help but test that untrodden peak. It's not easy to build a tower that's high enough to reach heaven. While they're building the tower, the people will fall into disharmony and lose the mutually understanding they once started with. their united wills thrown into disarray. This applies not just to a group of people, but can be said about one person as well. No matter how solid their will, the closer they become to heaven, the more limits God imposes on man. So even iron wills are sure to waver at some point. It is just too arrogant for humans to think that they can always carry out their original intentions. That must have been what my grandfather was thinking deep down. I'm sure he lost hope many times since. Nobody ever recognized the value of his research. Yet he believed in himself, and he believed that someday his work would be appreciated. Maybe that was his wish, rather than reaching heaven. Grandfather realized he wouldn't be able to complete his research, and maybe he was trying to find where he could compromise. Humans can't build a tower that reaches heaven, but the story of the Tower of Babel is still around. It didn't reach heaven, but we still tell the story of the tower that challenged God. According to the story, the tower was left behind, left behind with nobody to work on it. The incomplete tower stayed in that place for a long time, never achieving its goal. But if someone were to see it, they would realize how great it was that someone accepted that challenge and praised their name. I took over the tower from my grandfather and tried to make it to reach heaven, but I ended up succumbing to the same fate. And if it is going to be destroyed anyway, I will try to destroy it myself. What am I doing anyway? If I hadn't tried to continue grandfather's research, his work on Hinamizawa syndrome would have remained forever. Even if it was an empty tower that nobody ever visited, if somebody did come by, they would praise whoever attempted that challenge. They would have praised my grandfather. But I took over his work, and I built the tower even closer to heaven, which made God angry, and the tower is now going to be destroyed. The tower will become a pile of rubble. When the Erie Institute is shut down, all of its records will be destroyed. My grandfather's wish for his work to be appreciated by someone will never be granted. I tried to make my grandfather an eternal existence, yet I ended up making that an impossibility. How can I call myself Mio Takano? Instead of inheriting the 1, 2, 3 from my grandfather and continuing the count to 2, 4, I reduced it all to 0. If it wasn't for me, my grandfather's work would have remained an empty tower. It would have stayed in this world forever. But I ruined it. I did that. I can feel myself sweating. The sweat reminds me that I've done something inexorable. When did I make a mistake? Where did I go wrong? It wasn't when I came here. It was before that. I started to walk down the wrong path long before that. If I put myself in my grandfather's spot, I know. My grandfather was working on a great challenge. He built a mighty tower, and it was supposed to continue to stand there and wait for someone to appreciate it. Grandfather definitely said he wanted his work to be valued by someone, even after his death. But I misunderstood. Somewhere along the way, I made a wrong turn. I misinterpreted grandfather's wish, and I ruined it. I ruined everything. I tried to make him an eternal existence, yet I destroyed him. Grandfather built an eternal tower, yet I razed it. Where did I make a mistake? What went wrong? It's obvious. My grandfather counted to 3, and with that it was complete. I simply tried to do more with addition, and everything collapsed, and now all of it is ruined. I shouldn't have tried to count to 4. I shouldn't have done anything. Besides, grandfather didn't even ask me to continue his research. A little girl shouldn't play in this dark study. Go outside and play with your friends. I remember my grandfather telling me things like that. But I refused, and I stayed in the study so I could help him. And eventually he stopped telling me to play outside, and I just enjoyed having my company while he worked. But when we first met, he used to say things like that. Then, what? Living with Grandpa was the first mistake I made? Then what? When I escaped the orphanage, I shouldn't have called Grandpa. I shouldn't have found a 10-yen coin. I shouldn't have asked Grandpa to help me. Well, now I remember. I know where I belong. A noise of something metal striking something else is getting closer. It's getting closer and closer. I'm not allowed to fall asleep. I wasn't asleep. I just had my eyes closed. That's all. Sorry. Something, damn you, something. Oh, okay. What the hell's happening? Oh. Is this back in the orphanage, or is this Grandpa? Oh, there. That's a high text box. Alright. Well. Don't kick. I'm afraid of the metal sound. Please don't kick it. I'm not being kicked, but the noise is kicking me. So please don't kick. Please don't click. Oh, shit. Please don't kick the metal fence? Huh? That took me off of my... whatever. that made me confused. Like, what? Metal fence. Alright. My body is getting cracked. I think my body is getting cracked. All the dirty, itchy, and painful things soak into those cracks, and the filthy and prickling feel horrible. Oh, God, please stop. Please, just stop it now. It's soaking into my chest, gathering together. I desperately try to resist so that it won't touch my heart. But the dirtiness and itching draw closer more and more. My whole chest is soaked, and soon enough my face will be swallowed. Even drowning in this dirtiness and itching, I try desperately to hold my breath, so that at least my heart won't be soaked with it. Still, I don't know what that is, but alright. Okay, stop it, please. I can't hold my breath any longer. I drown in an ocean of muck. And yet, as I'm taking on the muck, my heart desperately struggles not to be tainted by it, to rise above it until my heart too sinks into the sea of grime. Only creatures that have lived on land will gasp and suffer the pain of drowning as they long to return to the dry land. Creatures that have always lived in the ocean never drown. Well, yeah. Grandpa won't come help me. That is the best thing for me and him both. I am... blank. Okay. Wait, I wonder. This has a log, right? Damn. I was hoping that in the log it will be like different. Like a secret. Shit. Oh well, whatever. See? When I stop struggling, there is no more noise. I don't have to hear that scary metal noise. It is a roar, or a yell? I needed to borrow strength to scream in order to come back to the present world. My body is all sweaty. It feels dirty, itchy, and painful. It reminds me of that day. I can feel welts coming on as the sweat crawls down my skin. No. It's just a delusion. It can't be itchy, because all of that is long over. I take a bath every day. I scrub my body until it turns raw and red. So not even the slightest drop of that horrible filth could possibly remain. I can't help it. I remember the filth. I can only get rid of it by scratching my arm so hard it leaves marks. I can't get rid of the itching. I can't get rid of the filth. Of course I can't. I am filthy existence. Grandpa should never have saved someone like me. Meeting me made him unhappy. I shouldn't have existed. I shouldn't have been born. I should have stayed inside that metal fence and spent my whole life there. I need to go back inside it. I should have never left. That place is where I belong. Corner me with that horrible metal noise. Crush me with that filth, itchiness, and pain. Then kill me. That I'll never meet Grandpa. Jesus Christ. Is that your wish? Yes. Much like those left behind at the top of Babel's crumbling tower, or Icarus, unable to reach heaven only to fall. That is my final wish. Bring me back inside that metal fence, and give me back the fate that's suitable for my filthy existence. The wish of a liar will never come true, but I'm not a liar. You have spoken your true wish once, yet you have yet to realize that's your greatest wish. And I cannot grant that wish just yet. Are you saying that's the punishment we sinful humans face for challenging God? You should already know. The strength of your desire is what creates the future. You lack that strength. Are you saying I haven't tainted myself enough? Will even the gates of hell remain shut for someone not fully committed like me? What's happening here? Wait, what? Hello? Wait. You can't just do that shit to me. You motherfuckers.
Rika-san, Satoko-chan.
Shut your ass up. I'm out here. I'm sorry. His irritating voice just now, after what just transpired, I don't want to hear that shit. Get the fuck out of here. Okay, we're done. Great episode there. Great. All right. So, what I think just happened was that a certain someone from Umineko? And if you've watched Umineko and you know who I'm talking about, was it? Huh. Interesting. Yeah, once you understand Umineko and you come back to Higurashi, it all makes like fucking perfect sense. You know, it's just fucking amazing how you connect the dots and shit. So weird. But so good at the same time. I really love it. But anyway, I digress on that. Again, if you don't know what the fuck I'm talking about, continue on with Higurashi, but then go to Umineko, and then connect the dots. But if you don't know the dots that I'm talking about, go to Umineko and then go to Higurashi. Or Higurashi, Umineko, then Higurashi again. Or whatever. You do you, okay? You do whatever the hell you want. Anyways, moving on from that. that was a lot of reading on my part. Holy fuck. 40 minutes straight of reading. That's rough on my throat. Alright, well, anyways, I'm gonna go ahead and end the video here. If you did enjoy, please leave a like, share the video, and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, because there will be more Higurashi on Wednesdays, with Mondays and Fridays being reserved for Fata Morgana, which, by the way, is looking to be ending real soon. I don't know how far we are in Higurashi, but if the Fata Morgana series ends, I will either pick something new up, or I will replace that with Higurashi and make Higurashi both Mondays and Fridays and start something new on Wednesdays. Try to keep up with the 3-day-a-week schedule. We'll see. But, yeah, that's my plans anyway. And, yeah. Enough of me rambling on. I will see you all next time in the next video. Alright? See you then. Bye-bye.